when God died, I'm sure that they gave up. They're like, again, so another person was preaching the gospel died, got crucified, and it's over. But what the enemy didn't know, that Jesus' death wasn't a victory for the enemy, but it was a victory for us. Because what the enemy didn't know, that once he said those 3 words, it is finished, and the purpose was accomplished, God already had a different plan.
Yes.
Because wasn't it an awesome day that when on the 3rd day after he died, that the world woke up into an empty tomb? The world woke up into an empty tomb, and they were surprised, and that's when God's ministry really started. So sometimes we have to be broken. Sometimes we have to ask God to renew us in order to have that victory that He has for us. Because in order for us to fulfill the purpose that He has for us, sometimes we have to go through the fire.
That's right.
Amen, amen.
Once we go through that fire, we'll understand what our true purpose is and how much we suffered. We'll be able to help other people as well.
That's right.
Amen, amen.
You're talking good.
Sometimes as we live our life, we forget a very important verse that God has left for us. In 1 Peter 2:9, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with it, and a lot of you guys have heard it.
Yes.
It says, "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood,
Amen.
a holy nation, a people belonging to God, that you may declare the praises of Him who called you out of darkness into the wonderful light."
Amen, amen.
So it's time that as young people that we begin to awake from this stage that we're in of currently hibernation is what I want to call it. Because after hibernation, eventually you come out. I don't want to say that it's a dead generation because right now we're going through a little something because of the times that we're living in. I can tell you, it's going to be harder. It's going to be tougher than it was before, reaching those souls. But also, once you become fully committed to what God has planned for it, now you're talking about that you are walking with a person who created the heavens and the earth with just His words. You are talking about a person that can heal and can raise the dead just with His words.
Yes.
So once you become fully committed and you understand the importance it is to walk with God instead of walking away from Him, is so when you'll realize that you'll be able to be used at your fullest potential that He has.
Amen, amen.
There's a few people in the Bible that we're going to be talking about that also had a purpose, but a couple of them decided to walk away from their purpose, and at the end it made them lose that victory that they had. One of them was Esau. Esau was the firstborn in his family. And back then, being the firstborn in your family, you received a special blessing.
That's right.
You received something special just for being the firstborn.
Yes.
Amen, amen.
But because Esau wanted to satisfy the temporary hunger pains, he gave away his blessing. He gave it away to his younger brother. See, when God has a plan for you, sometimes when God is ready to use you, and he's like just about to lay that ministry in front of you.
Yeah,
sometimes we replace our blessings with temporary.
Oh, come on.
Temporary things that the world has to offer.
Come on.
He's ready to just pour down of His Spirit, and you decide, oh, well, today, I don't think I like that preacher, so I'm not going to go to church.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Oh, I don't think I like the praise team, so I'm not going to go to church.
Oh, wow.
When God is looking for someone who's not really thinking about who's going to be preaching or who's going to be emceeing,
that's right,
or who's going to be singing.
Amen.
He's ready to look for that person that's ready to come at any situation.
Yes,
someone to say that I am here today.
That's right.
I am ready to do whatever you want me to do.
Amen.
No
Hallelujah.
with Lot's wife.
Yeah, talk about her.
Lot's wife lost her life after she disobeyed the commandments.
That's right.
Of God.
Amen.
God had told Lot and his wife to flee from Sodom and Gomorrah without looking back. So when they were going, Lot's wife couldn't resist the temptation of looking back and seeing the things that she left behind.
Yes.
So when she looked back, she automatically lost her blessing because she was showing a remorse of the things that she left in the world. When there is nothing in the world that can,
right.
there's nothing the world can offer you that
right.
God can't.
Amen.
God has a purpose. So when He says we need to walk forward, we need to go forward without looking back.
Amen.
Because He knows that what's ahead is something so great,
Yes.
something so big that's going to change the generation that we currently live in.
Amen.
And sometimes it's for that reason. Sometimes it's for that reason. We're living our lives, and we can't let go of certain things that are stopping us from God being able to use us at our full potential.
Come on.
Yeah.
Preach. Come on.
Sometimes it's those things, even those small things that's going on in our lives that we're like, I'm just not ready to let it go.
Itty bitty stuff.
I'm just not ready to let it go.
Yes.
And then so you're coming to church, and that's fine because we have a merciful God
That's
that
right.
He still lets you come into His house and speak in tongues. He still lets you come into His house and be able to worship Him in spirit and in truth. But He is sitting there waiting while you're in the world playing half and half. He's over here ready to work, and over here, that's why you see younger people now beginning to develop these ministries faster than those who've been in church for 15 years.
Oh, come on.
Why is that reason? It's because the ones who've been in church for so long are still holding on to things that they can't let go.
Oh, come on.
So it's time that we continue to be fully committed to what God has planned for us.
That's right.
And it's time to let go of those little things. Sometimes, as youth, how the society is right now, there are certain things that we're beginning to adopt that we're starting to say, well, everyone else is doing it.
Oh, come on.
Everyone else is doing it, so it can't be that bad.
Oh.
Everyone has their own personal convictions, so you have a chance to decide if it's going to be bad enough for you to either stop doing it or you can continue to do it. But it's limits to the things that you can do and the things that you can't. And sometimes there's certain things that are going on in the world that everyone else is doing it, and that's the wrong thing to go about it. Because God has created every single person differently.
That's right.
So if you see a person that has a special ministry that's preaching or that's singing, and you think you're not at that level and you're trying to be exactly like them, it's not going to happen.
That's right.
Because God has created something special for you.
Amen, amen.
And sometimes we let that. I'll never be able to sing as good as she does. I'll never be able to evangelize like that brother does. I'll never be able to do anything in church because I'm just too shy. I'm just struggling with how to break through and how to reach my youth. We're struggling with all these things, but instead of struggling and worrying about the things that you can't do, you need to focus on the things that we can do.
Yes.
That's when you'll start noticing, look, I can do this, and I can do this, and you'll start seeing that doors will begin to open up at the churches. You'll start noticing that, now I feel like I can actually be a leader in church. Now I can do this. But first, before we reach to that point, we need to get to that place of pure worship where we can say, God, I am ready.
Come on.
I am ready, Lord, to give up everything that might be blocking my way, Jesus. And I'm ready to give myself totally to you and be fully committed to what you have to offer me.
Amen, amen.
A lot of us are walking through our lives, and it's kind of like, well, they're still, like, I'm still young. I'm still young. In a couple of years, I'll become 100% into church.
Talk to us.
No.
In a couple of years is when I'll go ahead and get baptized, so I can do all these things that all my friends are doing.
Set us free. Come on.
When you have the truth, when you have the love of God, you'll start noticing that you won't think that way anymore. That you'll want to live with Christ.
Amen,
that you'll
amen.
Breathe with Christ. That everything that you do in the morning, you'll wake up singing.